Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Manjushri initiation with Lama Jhampa. Good afternoon, Lama Jhampa.
Good afternoon, Lama Jhampa. Yeah, although it's not a part from that coming commentary, Yamantaka commentary program that is approaching, it's a wonderful introduction to it. So thank you, Lama Jhampa, for agreeing to give us this channel.
Sure, thank you.
And of course, we would like to start with a mandala offering for this precious transmission.
Actually, before you do that, I would like everybody to think about their motivation, because that's the real creator of your experience and the karma that you're going to accumulate. So, if we think about our life, I mean, certainly we'd love to be more enlightened in our life. I mean, this means we have better ability with ourselves, better ability with our friends, our family, and our life in general. And so to be able to accomplish that, then certainly we need wisdom. And wisdom is, there's a variety of wisdoms. I mean, there's wisdom of just being how to be polite. There's wisdom of understanding how to work with your karma, wisdom of how to work with other people. So we're attending this blessing. This was called Jainung for the development of our abilities and such. So with that thought, then we'll do a refuge and mandala, please.
We take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until our full enlightenment. Through the power of the practice of the 6 paramitas, may we attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. We take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until our full enlightenment. Through the power of the practice of the 6 paramitas, may we attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. We take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until our full enlightenment. Through the power of the practice of the 6 paramitas, may we attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes, be free of suffering and its causes, never be separated from great happiness that is free of suffering, and rest in great equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. Om Subhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Subhava Shuddho Ham. Sa Shri Purchu Jokshik Metok Tram Rura Blingshe Nyade Kyanpadi Sanje Shingdu Mikde Powai Drokonam Dakshin La Triparisho Om Idam Guru Ratma Mandala Kame Gupaya Amen.
So with a good motivation, we're attending the blessing of Manjushri, the Buddha of wisdom. But in attending this, of course, it's always good to have two things. One is the qualification of the teacher, a qualification of the student. That's something that every teacher should be able to talk about when they give a teaching. So actually, I received this in 1973 from Kavji Ling Rinpoche. And actually, I think even Lama Glenn Mullen was attending that. So we were both attending that, although I was a monk and he was a layman at that point and married. And actually, at that particular point, I think his wife, Roberta, got pregnant with his first child. Dharma gossip. Anyway, but so I've done, and so from 1973, I then have done this every day of my life. So it's now 52, 53 years of practice. And also then, in 1980, I did a retreat for Manjushri, and I did more than 1 million of his mantras and such. So having accomplished those things, and then finally, of course, His Holiness the Dalai Lama gave me permission to give initiations. So those are the qualifications for myself as a teacher. For yourself as students, I do know that some of you are attending and you're not Buddhist. You've already contacted me, so that's fine. So you can attend this as a blessing and such, and also then you're going to be able to, appreciate maybe how a Buddhist practices, so that's beneficial. And for those of you that, of course, are Buddhists, then this will be an addition to your practice. To be clear, there is no commitment for this. If you would like to do the mantra, that's fine, as you wish, or if you'd like to do a daily practice, as you wish. The main commitment, of course, is that you are a Buddhist and a Bodhisattva. That is, if you are a Buddhist, then you're going to renew your bodhisattva vow. The other thing is that taking all of these teachings is really the most beneficial thing is the generation of your bodhicitta. Why? Because it's the cause of both yours and all others' happiness. So the thing is, and I do think there's in Espanol, if you go to anyway, Jonathan can say something, but I do believe there's Spanish.
Yeah, in the interpretation channel, or under the interpretation feature in your Zoom, there is the option for Spanish and Russian translation. But you will need to enable that on your end. We can't do that for you. It's already going, but you have to choose the right channel.
Okay, so we are, the big benefit is that we are regenerating our bodhicitta. So I want to diverge a little bit. There's something interesting. There is a psychologist in Canada that researched over 2,000 cases of past life memories. And in doing that, he came up with over 200 people that they could validate the material that they said. And I'm not going to go into the details. You can research that. I'm sorry, I don't have the name of the psychologist or anything. I have to dig that up. But the most interesting thing is that for all of those, or I say 90% of those children that remembered their past lives, they all died violently. So it seems a cause for remembering your past rebirth is actually having a violent death. So therefore, maybe we don't want to remember our past lives. Okay, but I think that's something that's worthwhile to mention, because what it does mean is we do have a continuity of lives. I mean, so whether the people, in your faith tradition, you believe that or not, but there seems to be enough factual information that there is a continuity of rebirths. And you don't need to believe in that to practice Buddhism, actually, but it certainly expands your horizon. Now, why am I mentioning that? Because as a general Buddhist practitioner, we would like to be free of our suffering. That's just sort of the intention we have is I'd like to be free of my suffering. I'd like to have, my personal liberation or something like that. So that is the path of personal liberation. But on the basis of that, which is learning how to deal with your delusions, you then actually can enter into the Mahayana, which is I'm not just working for myself, but I'm working for the benefit of everybody. May I become enlightened. May I have more enlightened activity. May I be of real benefit, such as Buddha Shakyamuni. If you think about the karma of Buddha Shakyamuni, it's inconceivable, because 2,500 years ago, and I've mentioned this before, no TV, no radio, no newspapers, nothing. And yet this man just walking around India for 40 years transformed the whole of Asia. At one point, Buddhism was the biggest religion in the world, So point being is that he must have had unbelievable karma to be able to do that. You and I, if we went out on the street and tried to talk about Buddhism, no one would be particularly impressed. Whereas he did impress, granted he was a crown prince and all sorts of things. But the point is that, from our point of view, he cultivated himself for many, many rebirths and finally attained enlightenment, and then had huge impact on the world, which is, you could say, the charisma. And maybe you've met somebody who has charisma, and it's sort of like when you meet them and they say something, it's very attractive. Well, Buddha Shakyamuni must have had unbelievable attractive energy and also wisdom in what he had to say. So why I'm mentioning this is because as a Mahayana practitioner, we are actually creative. And if you think of creativity, you can be creative with art, you can be creative with food, you can be creative with your garden. Just look at the things you're interested in and where you're interested, and then you start to play with that area. You do become creative. But this practice, and our practices of Buddhism, is a creativity which is in you. You becoming an incredible person. It's the most incredible, it's the ultimate type of creativity, self-creativity. And so in developing ourselves. Like I said, we're a bodhisattva. We'd like to perfect the 6 perfections. The perfection of generosity, the perfection of principles and ethics, the perfection of patience, the perfection of joy, the perfection of meditation, the perfection of wisdom. All of those, as you perfect them, they make you a beautiful person. There's an analogy that our mind is like a diamond, and right now it's a diamond that's covered with a lot of dirt, but when we turn our mind to personal development, then of course you start to clear away the dirt, and then the diamond starts to show up. And as we practice the 6 perfections, then the facets on the diamond get polished, and then you become this beautiful diamond like Buddha Shakyamuni, in benefiting the world. The message: peace, be mindful of yourself, be mindful of your karma, be of benefit, love and compassion. So that our practice is the polishing of the diamond of our being, and we accomplish that through, 1, being wiser in our life, and then secondly, by developing empathy, the basis for our love and compassion. So we slowly evolve, and we become a better and better person, a more wonderful person to have in other people's lives. Something we can offer. Okay, so when I talk about creativity, and coming back to this idea of a continuity of rebirths, that what we're doing right now is we're cultivating ourselves. We are creative with ourselves. And if we do a pretty good job, then we'll have better relationships with the people we're living with right now. We'll have a nice sense of generosity. We share things. We'll have good principles about our life. We'll be patient when there's difficult situations, or when we need to do something better, like that. So we cultivate this, and then I've mentioned this before, but the next person in line, unless we die violently, will not remember us. Okay, we don't want to die violently, do we? But the point is that will not know us. We won't know our name. We won't know where we live. We don't know whether we're a man and a woman. We won't know anything about us. But they will be influenced and affected by the way we lived our life right now. So if we do a good job of having better relationships, more skill in our relationships, having a nice sense of generosity, having a good sense of empathy, we're not so competitive, we're not just sort of like the 3 C's, capitalistic, consumer, competitive. We're a bodhisattva. We're the B instead of the 3 C's. So if we cultivate ourselves, then that's a gift to the next person in line. And if that next person in line did happen to become a Buddhist, they go, wow, thank you so much to my past life, which is you, because you're doing a good job with yourself right now. And what you're really doing is you're being creative with yourself, because in the long run, you will become a higher level bodhisattva, and finally you could become enlightened. So really, this is the most unbelievable creativity. I mean, we can be creative with food and gardening and all sorts of things, but to be self-creative is unbelievable. And then when you bring to mind bodhicitta, what is bodhicitta? Well, I would like to become more enlightened, And it's not that, because that's sort of, all that is the wish. It's like, I want to go to, a very nice place, I want to go to the, a beach resort or something like that. That's like, I want to become enlightened. But when you start to do something, practice generosity, practice ethics principles, have principles in your life, be a little more patient, then you're on the road to that enlightenment. You're on that road to that beach resort, if that's what you wanted to do. So it's really important to recognize that bodhicitta, yes, it's a wish, but really it's action. Just every moment I try to act in a more enlightened way, and then that becomes my enlightenment. And so I often encourage you, try to memorize, for example, the examples in the first chapter of the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. Bodhicitta is like an elixir that turns mundane elements into gold. Bodhicitta is like an evergreen, or a perennial, in the sense that it's not an annual that you just plant something and it grows once and then dies. Bodhicitta is perennial. It produces fruit again and again and again, always producing fruit. Or then the bodhicitta is like having a friend that's Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel. Okay, bad examples, but the point is that if you had, Captain Marvel, or if you had, Superman with you, you could go to dangerous places and you're completely protected. Bodhicitta is like that. Bodhicitta protects you wherever you go. And then finally, bodhicitta is like when the sun blows up and it burns all the planets. If you have bodhicitta, it completely destroys all of your past negative karma, completely eradicates it. I like the example of that if you develop bodhicitta, that is, you have some empathy, you have the wish to be a better person, you like to offer a better relationship, things like that. You could say that the acidic nature in your body is affected by that, which is like alkaline. It makes your body more alkaline, makes your mind more alkaline. So therefore acid can't arise anymore, the acidity. And the acidity, of course, is our anger, our competitiveness, our jealousy, our manipulativeness. So bodhicitta is incredible. So please, if you can, try to memorize at least the examples and then meditate on them. Because taking this initiation, or it's a blessing actually, of Manjushri is part of our creative process. The creative process of having better wisdom in our life. So there are varieties of wisdom. There's the wisdom that things will change, impermanence, but it's better to say things will change. Why is that a wisdom? Well, Lama Yeshe said that wisdom is what keeps you cool. So what is the opposite of that? Your delusions. Your delusions make you hot. They make you intense. They make you problematic. Your anger, your jealousy, your all of those different things are very hot. Whereas when you have wisdom, you cool down. That's literally the meaning of it. So nirvana, everlasting peace, means to be totally cool. That's more in English, we could say that. Anyway, but the point is it means you no longer have delusions. So if you have the wisdom of that things will change, you stay cool. You stay calm. Okay, so having a bad situation, your relationship with somebody is going bad, or where maybe you're getting fired from your job, like all those poor people in the United States or something like that, things will change. Okay, it changes. That's the nature of reality is everything's changing. The air around us is changing, the temperature is changing, just everything's changing. So I can stay cool. Then there's the wisdom of karma. If something's happening around you and you are being affected, you have karma in that area. If something's happening and it doesn't touch you, you don't have any karma in that area. So again, if something's happening in your life, you're having particular trouble, relationship or work or your health or something, you don't think, oh, poor me, I'm the victim of this bad situation. No, we have some karma. It keeps you cool. Then there's the wisdom of being interdependent, that I am in an interdependent universe. As His Holiness the Dalai Lama said, this planet isn't just a resource to be used. This planet is home. We should take good care of it. So if you did practice and you had some wisdom of interdependence, you'll actually become an environmentalist without even trying, because you appreciate we are interdependent. And then if you think of your relationships, you needed a mother and a father to take a rebirth. And then you needed them to talk to you as you grew up so that you learned the language that you're now understanding. Okay, and then you needed them to feed, or you needed Mother Earth to feed you. And then you needed to be educated. All of those things, you were interdependent with all of that. It's not like you popped out of the womb and could speak French or English or German or Russian or something like that. No, you needed to be interdependent. So it's a wisdom that says, wow, I'm interdependent. Now, that one actually, it can keep you calm, but the more the impermanence and karma keep you calm, interdependence says, well, I'm engaged. I'm involved with this world around me. And so there now can come actually some of the idea of bodhicitta. Although certainly if you study bodhicitta, you can appreciate the power of the karma, doing something for more than yourself. But when you appreciate interdependence, in fact, I believe it was Aryadeva, or maybe it was Chandrakirti, one of those two, said, People with the intelligence that start to understand interdependence spontaneously have bodhicitta because they appreciate, wow, I'm interdependent with Mother Earth, I'm interdependent with the people around me. May I be of benefit? And then the final wisdom, which completely liberates you, is the wisdom of that I'm not self-existent. That, I am free of any independent self-existence. I am completely interdependent. Now, it doesn't mean I'm the victim of situations. It refers to that I have all possibilities. All options are available to me. I am free of any inherent sort of goopy, I can't change and transform. I have full opportunity, and I have wisdom. I have the wisdom of things change. I have the wisdom of doing my karma. I have the wisdom of I'm interdependent, and I have wisdom that there's nothing within me which is holding me back. I can, go to the ultimate nature of reality. Anyway, so those are all things that keep you cool. Okay, so the initiation that we're receiving today, or blessing again, is of Manjushri, the Buddha of wisdom. And so therefore, remember that there is no commitment for this. You're taking this, if you'd like to do a little, let's say the minimum you could do is maybe do 7 of his mantras every day. For those of us that have really quite extensive practices, a lot of the things, we do maybe 7 or 21 of white Tara. Maybe we do a little bit 7 or 21 of the medicine Buddha. Maybe we do some Vajrapani practice or whatever. So you can include that in your sort of little repertoire. That's sort of just the example again. This Lama Yeshe gave this. He says it's like making the phone call, And in this case, when he was alive, there weren't cell phones really, but we have cell phones now. So when you were saying the mantra for Manjushri or Tara or Avalokiteshvara, you're making that little phone call, that cellular phone call to them. And maybe one day they'll answer. But at least you're making a phone call. You're sort of remembering wisdom. So so it's a minimum you could, if you want, there's no commitment, so you don't have to do anything. But if you wanted to at some point turn around, you do have the blessing. If you were to at least do 3, 7, or 21 of the mantras every day, that'd be nice. Add it into your practice. It's not extensive. If you don't have much practice, you could do the sadhana, which I believe has been posted, will be posted or is already posted on the chat. And if nothing else, maybe it'll be sent to you all via email. There's a short sadhana, it's 1 page. Okay, so that's an option, but it's not like you must do it. I'm just being clear with you that, what are you involved with, okay? So that the big thing is you are being creative, you are a bodhisattva, you're going somewhere constructive with yourself, and you're going to be able to offer that to other people around you. That's really what we're doing, the core of it. And in the next rebirth, if you do a pretty good job of this rebirth and that person became a Buddhist, you say thank you. And maybe some of you right now could say, wow, thank you to my past life, because I don't remember who the person was, but hey, things are pretty good. I've got money, I've got health, I've got a good relationship. I have a blessing. Thank you so much. Okay, so that was a bit of just sort of an introduction for this. And I do encourage you to study. You could, especially with the Tibetan Buddhism, you have the graduated path to enlightenment, or the precious words of my teacher, or the Lamdre, the path and results. It really doesn't matter what lineage we're in, and you can have a variety. I have a Sakyapa lineage, I have the Gelugpa lineage, I have a little bit of a Karkiva lineage, and a little bit of a Nyingmapa lineage. It's not a problem. It's not tossed salad. You don't put them all together. But I have a little Padmasambhava practice that I received from Dogo Khyentse Rinpoche. He's such an incredible Lama. I'm deeply moved by that, so I love to do his mantra. I have one student who recently contacted me and said, oh, my prayers are so mechanical. I don't want this. Maybe I'm going to stop doing my prayers because it's just mechanical. And I thought, wow, you're so out of touch. This is a 6-session guru yoga, so it's a higher tantra commitment that you take. And I said, the bottom line is, if you really love your guru, your 6-session guru yoga is that. It's the life. For me, I bring to mind, Ling Rinpoche, Trijang Rinpoche, the Dalai Lama, or Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche. My succession guru yoga is to them, and that gives me goosebumps. It makes me so happy. I'll never be mechanical with that. Or, an example would be if you're in a relationship and, you just, oh, I love you, kiss the person on the cheek or something like that. After a little while, you will get divorced because it's too mechanical. You have to show some passion, some affection for the person you're involved with. Okay, so same thing with our guru yoga practice, again, or with anything, in this case, it's always, it says in all the tantras, your deity is the guru. And it may be, okay, for example, you're receiving this from me, but maybe you have another guru, maybe the Dalai Lama or Nyingma Khargyul Gelug Lama, whatever, it doesn't really matter. That they, having received this from me, you can see them then as the manifestation of Manjushri. That's perfectly acceptable, okay? Because, they are basically mentoring our process of becoming enlightened. The real job of Guru Yoga is to help you become a more enlightened person. It's not that they dominate you or they tell you what to do. It can be that they suggest things. But I've been practicing for 50 years. I can say that the gurus that told me what to do, sometimes I wasn't so involved with that. The ones that didn't, but they maybe suggested something, I was much more attentive. And I guess it had to do with that they gave me the option of choice rather than just being dogmatic about it. Anyway, I'm a little off topic, but I'm trying to just give you a greater scope to your Dharma practice. That in doing this practice, whether it's myself or whether it's other gurus, they are the manifestation of Manjushri. So when you do this practice, feel it. And there's the best example I can give you of this, of using the wisdom of Manjushri, is when you're in a difficult situation, just say, what would my guru do? It just can give you a whole new set of options or perspectives about a situation. That what would my guru do? Especially, if you had a very lively guru. A lot of us at my age, we had Lama Thupten Yeshe as our guru. He was wonderfully flexible, full of life. So if I was think, I've got a difficult situation, what would Lama Yeshe do? It gives me options. That's wisdom. And that's calling on the guru. That's calling on Manjushri. Manjushri, although we're going to do a golden colored Buddha with a sword and the perfection of wisdom, the real thing is wisdom, understanding, or staying peaceful, having insight. Okay, so I'm just giving you sort of an introduction to the practice because the actual blessing can happen really fast. So there's nothing in that. You need to build up something that makes it sort of really worthwhile and meaningful for you. So I'll come back to remember, the big thing for those of you that really are practicing is I'm renewing my bodhicitta. I'm in a creative process. A process is me creativity. I'm becoming a better person. And it's not about me, actually. It's about what I can offer. Because I exist in a completely interdependent universe. May I be of benefit. May I be of benefit to my neighbors. May I be of benefit to the animals I come across. May I be of benefit to the people at my work. Skillfully. There always needs to be intelligence. Just trying to be a nice person all the time can make you a lot of trouble. In fact, people will avoid you. So you do need to be intelligent about being a bodhisattva. But the point is still, you never lose that feeling. May I be of benefit. And I think the best example of this is His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He's right over there above my shoulder. He had the Chinese invade his country, destroy his country, all of those things. He never lost his compassion for them. He thinks about them and, if I could be a benefit to them in some way, may I be a benefit. So again, we have lots of examples of it. So with that then, we are going to move towards actually taking the blessing. Okay, so. Okay, so that concludes. You've now received the initiation. Again, I'm going to give you now a commentary. Now, this is something I'm going to read it, and you can receive it. I'll give a little bit of commentary about it, and that will conclude the initiation or the blessing of this. So you can relax a little bit, okay? Now, something that, sometimes if you think like, especially, if you're a woman and now you're thinking of yourself as Manjushri, well, you are actually wisdom consciousness, okay? And you assume the aspect of Manjushri, which is fine. I mean, you put on the costume of Manjushri, but you fully identify with it, like I am wise, I am skillful, okay? But then, you could say, well, Manjushri is really smart and he allows me to assume my old form. It's just a way to sort of say, okay, I'm still Manjushri, I'm still coming from Manjushri, but I'm back in my old form because that way my friends and my family can all recognize me and relate to me, but inside I'm Manjushri. It's just a simple little thought. Now, the text I'm going to give you is called Visualizing the Generation of Wisdom. Now, in doing this, there are 7 visualizations. I'm just going to read them. They will be available for you to download. So this is a transmission of this for you. You can do this or not as you wish, but it's just nice to be able to have the transmission of it because you're here to attend this blessing. So visualizing the generation of wisdom. 1, pray. Please inspire me to generate the great wisdom which has no resistance to understanding the meaning of extensive scriptures. From Manjushri flows an orange nectar of great wisdom. It fills my entire body. The essence of each atom of nectar is a small Manjushri. Light rays radiate from these Manjushris to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions. All their wisdom in the form of millions of Manjushris are absorbed into me through the pores of my body. And it's like snow falling onto an ocean. Feel that you generate great wisdom. 2, pray. Please inspire me to generate the clear wisdom that understands even the subtle details of the different points of the Dharma without confusion. The visualization is the same as above, but the essence of each atom of nectar is Manjushri's mantra, Om Arabhasana Di. Millions of mantras are invoked from the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. They dissolve into you, and you generate clear wisdom. 3, pray. Please inspire me to generate the quick wisdom which quickly cuts off all ignorance, wrong conceptions, and doubt. Visualize as before, substitute Manjushri's seed syllable D and feel that you have generated quick wisdom. 4, pray. Please inspire me to generate the profound wisdom which understands the meanings of the scriptures in a profound, limitless way. Visualize as above, substituting Manjushri's implements, the sword and the text, and feel that you have generated profound wisdom. 5, pray. Please inspire me to generate the wisdom of explaining the Dharma, elucidating the definitive, correct understanding of all the words and meanings of the scriptures. Visualize as above, substituting text, visualize as above, that's the text and the swords, but substituting text, feel that you have generated the wisdom of clearly explaining the Dharma. That's interesting. Okay. So in the previous one, it was sword and text. In this one, you just have text. So my mistake, sorry, just text. 6, pray. Please inspire me to generate the wisdom of debate, which courageously refutes defending views. Visualize as above, substituting 8-spoked wheels of swords, and feel that you have generated the wisdom of debate. 7, pray. Please inspire me to generate the wisdom of writing, which uses perfect grammar and poetic words and expresses clearly the wisdom and gives joy. Visualize above, substituting the text and the 8-spoked wheels of swords, and feel that you have generated the wisdom of writing. Sorry, the text as it was translated doesn't seem to make sense, but okay. So you still are doing text and swords, but you're doing the ability to write. In number 6, you just got the swords and wheels of swords. Number 5, you have just the text. Number 4, you have the text and swords, just to be clear, okay? I'm sorry about that. Okay, if you want, then having done that, you can recite the foundation of all good qualities, which is the text that comes from Tsongkhapa. Okay, then there's a final thing, making requests. Request number 1, may the wisdom of learning, thinking, and meditation increase, and may the wisdom of teaching, debate, and writing increase. May I achieve ordinary and extraordinary accomplishments. Please bless me to quickly become like you, Manjushri. 2, may the simultaneously born great bliss shine immediately, and the delusion shadow of grasping of inherent existence be cleared. May I cut the net of doubt of the true nature of mind. Please bless me to quickly become like you. 3. Magnificent and precious root Guru, please sit in the lotus and moon of my crown. With the great kindness, keep me in your care. Grant me the realizations of your body, speech, and mind. Number 4. Magnificent and precious root Guru, please sit in the lotus and moon in my heart. With your great kindness, keep me in your care. Grant me the general and sublime realizations. 5. Magnificent and precious Guru, please sit in the lotus and moon in my heart. With your great kindness, keep me in your care. Please remain firmly until my attainment of enlightenment. Due to these merits, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their sufferings. May the precious Bodhi mind, not yet born, arise and grow. May that be born, not decline, but increase evermore. Whatever virtue I have gathered here, may it bring benefit to migrating beings and the Buddha's teachings. May it make the essence of the Buddha's doctrine, and especially the teachings of the Venerable Losang Drapa, Tsongkhapa, shine for a long time. In all my lives, through the victorious one, Lama Tsongkhapa, acting as the actual Mahayana Guru, may I never turn away from the instant of the excellent path praised by the victorious ones. So I've just transmitted to you the visualization of generating the wisdom. Okay. Now, something that's really important with this is this lineage of Manjushri. I received this from Kabje Ling Rinpoche, who was considered to be a manifestation of Manjushri. And I'm sorry if I'm speaking too fast for my translators. Okay. So that comes back all the way from Tsongkhapa, who had a direct vision of Manjushri. He also had a direct vision of Yamantaka, but it actually comes from Manjushri. And so he received a direct vision of Manjushri and was able to talk directly to Manjushri. So this particular lineage is quite precious, of the various lineages. So consider yourself quite lucky that you've received a very good lineage of Manjushri. And in regards to the text I just translated, as they say, the main thing is from Manjushri. You are Manjushri. So Manjushri flows orange nectar of great wisdom and fills your entire body. The essence of every atom of nectar is a small Manjushri. Light rays radiate from these Manjushris to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions. All their wisdom in the form of millions of Manjushris is absorbed into you through the pores of your body, like snow falling into the ocean. That's the same thing then you do with number 2, which is the mantra Om Arabaz Nadi. Number 3 is the syllable D. Number 4 is the sword and text. Number 5 is the text. Number 6 is the 8-spoked wheel of swords that spin very radiantly with fire. And number 7 is the sword and texts that is absorbed, okay? And then, so just to be really clear, I wanted to make sure you understood the transmission. This I will believe, although the initiation can't be published for a thing, this one section, I know that Jonas can cut this out and post it somewhere for you guys to have access to this at a later date if you'd like. Okay, congratulations. You've now received all of the transmission of Manjushri. Now, one more thing. This book is available on Amazon. It's backwards there for you. It is the Tibetan division system of Manjushri. Now, if you if you buy this, I do believe it gives you a dice, but you can even use just a regular dice. And there's 6 sides, which is Om Arabazana. Okay, Om Arabazanadi. Okay, that's the mantra. Okay, 6 syllables, 6 sides of the dice. And so if you would like to, and this does require a bit of a retreat though, that you would then set up a retreat. Now it doesn't have to be like super official, but like it would be 1 week possibly or something like that. You have an altar, you have a picture of Manjushri. On the altar you have your dice, put it in a nice little container. So if you have a little wooden disc or a little wooden container, a wood bowl, or I don't know, something like that, or whatever, just something that can contain it. Okay. Then when you do the mantra, now someone just posted, what's the lineage? This is the lineage of Manjushri Arabazanadi. Okay, there's youthful Manjushri, Manjushri Arabazanadi, There's white Manjushri, there's lots of Manjushris. This is the lineage Manjushri Arabazanati. And that's the Mo system, the divination system I'm just referring to now, is also the with the Buddha Manjushri, Arabazanati Manjushri, okay? So you would then do the retreat, and at the end of every session, having recited, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 mantras, then you blow on your little dice, okay? And if you did that for a week or so, doing a proper retreat, then your dice could potentially then be properly blessed. The most appropriate thing is then you would have a dream. Okay, it is available on Amazon. It's from Mipum, from here. Well, it's backwards, from Mipum, but it's from the Sakya. It's in the Gelugpan Sakya. It's with the forward from this Holiness Sakya treason. So it's just called Mo, Tibetan Divination System, by Mipum, and with the Holiness by a Sakya Lama. So it's called Mo, and it is available on Amazon and such. I have some questions. Okay, just a second. Okay, so you do the retreat, you blow in the mantra. At the best would be that then you have a dream, whether it's Manjushri or Buddha or your guru or something says yes. It would just mean that then when you do divinations, that they would have a better chance of being accurate. But you should always use your own wisdom in doing divinations. I use divinations on occasion. I always try to sort of qualify a little bit with some of my own wisdom and understanding, that make sure that I'm not being foolish about something, so I guess just rely on your practice, but it's just something you can do. So it's a little added. So now you have there. Somebody just posted it online in the chat. So you now have the practice of Manjushri. There's no commitment other than you're a Buddhist. You take refuge and you have bodhicitta. If you would like, try to do at least 7 mantras every day. If you want to do the sadhana has been posted in the chat, I believe. Then finally, if you wanted to do a retreat, you can do the retreat just to increase your own wisdom, but also you can do it for doing the divination. And it says, how many mantras for the retreat? Well, the standard is you do 110,000 mantras. That's the norm. Okay, so you do 110,000 mantras, and that completes what's called the basic retreat of Manjushri. Now, if you wanted to do, be a little bit more intense about it, do 1 million. I'm sorry, I did, so I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you to do 1 million. Okay. Anyway, I'm teasing some of you, but okay. Here, I'm just going through. Okay, we have the name of the book. Okay, if somebody says they have questions, just is jampashannaman@gmail.com is my thing, or you can actually just type in Jampa Shannaman. I should pop up in a Google Transit, Google search, but Jampa Shannaman, all lowercase, @gmail.com. And then thank you. Okay, the other thing is, for those of you, some of you have made donations. Thank you very much. That's from your side. It's good karma from my side. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So thank you. But also do consider to make a donation to the Vajra Mandala, because they host these things, and so that's everything costs money nowadays. It's sort of sad. So even if you make a small donation, $5 or something, it helps all of us. So thank you very much. Okay, so you do 110,000 mantras, or if you want to do 1 million, haha. Okay, the sadhana should be on the chat. If not, I think Jonas and Gosha will publish it to everybody's email. I do believe so.
Actually, yeah, all the sadhanas have been shared twice today via email. So both the sadhana and the transmission Lamala gave, you have it in your email inbox. If you don't have it, please check your spam folder.
Okay, I'm not planning to do any initiations of Vajrayogini at this point. I will be doing Yamantaka in 2 weeks. That's on a Friday and a Saturday, I believe, 28 and 29 of March. That's Yamantaka.
Actually, sorry if I can just pop in here for Yamantaka. So yeah, everyone attending, if you would be interested to receive the empowerment and teachings on the Wrathful form of Manjushri, the Yamantaka practice, Lama Jhampa, as he mentioned, will give the initiation in 2 weeks and then 21 weeks of weekly teachings. And the link to that program is also in both emails that we shared today. At the bottom of the email, there is a link with all the details to the Yamantaka empowerment and teachings. Okay, thank you.
Okay, good. As it says here, one question asks is, what can you use other runes for doing the divination? I don't have, originally I did have the dice with the Om Arabazanadi on it, but I lost it somewhere. So now I just use a regular dice. The point is that you bless it. You consecrate it by your practice and your concentration. That's the standard one. There's lots of ways of divination. The one that I've quoted here is specifically with dice and with the 6-syllable mantra of Amar Basnati. Okay, does someone ask a question about, is bodhicitta related to the moon in the body? Bodhicitta is an attitude. Now, it is symbolized by a moon, being that it is soft light that is compassionate. So the moon does represent compassion, generally speaking, because it represents the soft light. So for example, if you go in the sunlight is hard, it's brilliant, that's more like wisdom. Whereas the moonlight, if you stand in the light of the full moon, which was yesterday, by the way, then it's very soft light on your skin, so it's considered like compassion. Okay, and then someone asks about Exkobia is normally the Tathagata family. In this particular lineage, it's the Exkoba family, and I can't really comment more than just say, in this lineage of Manjushri that you've received, the lord of the family is Exkobia. Okay. Where can I find this? Sadhana has been sent to you. What's the difference between the first and the fourth of the visualization you transmitted? Both seem to be understand Dharma scripture. Well, okay, the text got sent to you. Again, when I was reading it, I would have thought there was a change in the visualization, but no. In number 4, it's the text and the sword. In number 5, it's just the text. In number 6, it's the spinning swords. And number 7, it's the spinning swords in the text. It is in the text. Again, it is a little bit to some extent, this is your imagination. But the thing is that if you have faith, things happen. We shouldn't think that there isn't, Buddhas out there. Although we are the owner of our experience and our situation, there are external Buddhas. The real Buddhas, there's Buddha Shakyamuni, Dalai Lama, Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and even if they passed away, they still should be very alive for you. I still dream of Ling Rinpoche, and although there's a new incarnation, doesn't mean that the thing, he still shows up as the old incarnation for me, and Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche periodically shows up, Dalai Lama shows up. So those are the Buddhas that really exist in this world. I've never dreamed of Buddha Shakyamuni in golden robes, I'm sorry. But I've dreamed of the Dalai Lama and other ones. So there's the thing. Okay, thank you. Could the standard Western tarot cards? Okay, I don't disagree that tarot cards could work, but the point is the particular definition system is with dice. But there are other styles of divination. Tarot cards, reading people's palms of their hand. And the actual real, if you want my opinion about this is a Jhampa opinion, by the way, that the real source of it all is the intuition of the person doing it. Lama Zopa, for example, when he did divinations, he would do it with dice, always, but he was always looking for the vision that would come. He didn't talk about this, but I know this. I've known Lama Zopa until he passed away, so it was a vision or the intuition. Doesn't mean you have to be a vision. So as a divination performer, one is you rely on in this case, this person's asking tarot cards. You could do tarot cards, but the real source of your ability is your intuition. And actually, Kabji Ling Rinpoche explained that to me very well. He said that, for example, dreams can be a source of divination. So he said that one of the other one is the mirror. There's a style of divination you could do with a mirror. Okay, so that'd be like a crystal ball. And this is Ling Rinpoche who taught me this, okay? So the Tibetans use it as a mirror, and it's just a disc, clear disc, and in that will arise images and stuff. So Lingam Rinpoche explained, he said, as a person has that ability, it's called Melong Tapap in Tibetan, okay? What it means is that that person's able to see the images arise. So they do a little practice, they invoke a particular Buddha, and then they can have the clairvoyance of seeing things. And so Lingam Rinpoche said that an image would arise, and if the person's quite good, they know how to interpret the image. But some people aren't very good. So he said, for some people, an image arises, and underneath will come a little subtitles and tell them what it means. And then Lingam Rinpoche said, and some people are really dense. And so not only does the image arise, possibly subtitles, but also a voice will come, and they get told what the image means. So the point being is that definitions are really on the side of the person doing it more than anything. I think blessing your dice, or in this case, blessing your tarot cards, okay? All I can really talk about is dice. Could work, but still it's your ability. I got recommended by my Lama to do Nundro. Yes, please do your Nundro to finish Lemren before I take Yamantaka. Yes and no. In taking the Yamantaka initiation, or taking any big high entire initiation, yeah, the very, very best is that you have a full grasp of the graduated path. Yes, you've done all the 4 preliminaries. I don't disagree with that. That's the way I did it. I mean, although I didn't actually know. Lama Glenn and I both got Yamantaka in 1973, and we knew nothing. But that doesn't mean it was wrong. So the thing is, if you do get the Yamantaka initiation next week or 2 weeks from now, what you're really doing is you're getting your bodhisattva vows, you're getting a tantric vow, you have the lineage, and then with me, you only have to do the 6-session guru yoga. Then you could go back and do, you should always study the graduated path for the rest of your life, never stop. But if you were to then do the Nundro, or even like for 3 years, you could do 100 prostrations over 3 years, you got the 100,000. You do 100 Vajrasattva mantras every day for 3 years, you got the 100,000. It depends. So yes, the very best students do it really professionally, 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's not a strict necessity, but if you were to attend the initiation, you don't need to tell your lamas everything. So for example, I was very close with Lingam Rinpoche. I never told him that I went off and took teachings from Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche. What's the point? Both their jobs was to help me become more enlightened. And Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche for me, the previous one, not the present one right now, there seems to be some controversy, but the previous one, he was the Buddha. He was incredible. Some sort of incredible connection for me. But I also had that same connection with Lingam Rinpoche. So I had 2 sources of helping me become more enlightened. And then count Trijang Rinpoche, and then count the Dalai Lama, and then Sirkin Rinpoche. And I have more than 20 some gurus, and the same with Lama Glenn, with both of us. So you do not need to tell all your gurus what you're doing with yourself. If you go to Lingam Rinpoche, or if you, let's say we went to a particular Lama, take their teachings, fully integrate them. If they give you some suggestions about how to practice, say, yes, that's very interesting. I'll give you the best example, actually. It's a quite funny one. Geshe Ngawang Dargye, one of my gurus, was very opinionated. He said to me, I should always just stay in the library and I'll become enlightened very fast. But my nature was, I like retreats. In fact, I'd done, by the time, when I did my 3-year retreat of Yamantaka, I'd already done 2 years of retreat of all the preliminaries, plus prior to that, various short retreats. It's just my style. And so when Geshe Ngawang Dargye said that to me, I would have to say, well, it's nice, it's your opinion. But my main guru is Lingam Rinpoche, and Lingam Rinpoche accepted me to do a 3-year retreat, so I'm going to do that. I didn't say anything to him, but that was just, I'd say, thank you very much, Geshe Dargye, because I love you. Geshe Dargye is a source. I'm sorry, I'm speaking really fast for my translator. Geshe Dargye was an incredible wellspring of teachings for me. I can say my ability to teach is Geshe Ngawang Dargye. Absolutely, 100%. I love him. But in regards to the way that Jhampa likes to practice, I do retreats. It's my style. So anyway, I did my 3-year retreat. I went up and lived on the side of a mountain above Dharamsala. I had access to Ling Rinpoche over the 3 years, and private teachings and stuff. And I, of course, had been well educated when I started that 3-year retreat and things like that. So when I finished it, I finished the main body of it. It took 2 years to do 15 million mantras of Yamantaka. Okay, I did that, and it was traditional then to offer tsok. Now, Ling Rinpoche's house was within my boundary of my retreat area. I was he lived high up on the mountain too. So I organized to do a Lama Jhampa tsok with Ling Rinpoche. So I invited Geshe Darge, Chomdo Geshe, and a couple of the other people that were really important for me in my practice, of which Geshe Darge was important. So Ling Rinpoche, it was private, so it was in his house. There's just like 15 of us in the room. So Ling Rinpoche was in the main throne, and just to his left side was Geshe Nawandargi, because he was the most senior monk, and the next was Chomdo Geshe and a couple other people, and I was down on the floor and stuff, and so we did Lama Jhampa. And at the end, or halfway through it, then there's tea break, so we were all drinking tea. And at one point, then Ling Rinpoche leaned over to Geshe Darge and he said, "Isn't it good Jhampa did this retreat?" And Geshe Darge said, "See, Lolis." and from that time forward, Geshe Darge was always very kind to me. Anyway, but I share that simply because, we all have gurus and they all have opinions. And so the person that said you should do graduated path and 6 and all those things, perfect. It's good. Yeah, the best per student would, but it doesn't mean you can't take the initiation of Yamantaka. At least this is my opinion. Remember, this is Jhampa opinion, and that person has their opinion, and another guru will have their opinion. So please understand that. Okay. It was in the chat, the name of the text for doing the practice, and on your email will be the sadhana, the short sadhana Manjushri. I'm sorry, I don't have the Manjushri lion speech one. I might have it, but I don't have the text to give it, sorry. We'll also need to buy blah, blah. You don't need to buy the dice. Supposedly when you buy the book physically, you get a dice with it. Thank you very much. Goat bones. Someone's asking about goat bones. Well, I guess if you bless them with Manjushri energy, goat bones could even talk to you. Okay, thank you very much, Vajra Mandala. Thank you very much, Vajra Mandala, for doing this. I did receive a private blessing from Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche of the Guru Rinpoche practice and mantra. He gave me the text. He transmitted the text to me, and then he physically gave it to me, which is really unbelievable. I mean, I was so fortunate. I still have that. I consider it very precious, but I'm sorry, I don't practice the Guru Rinpoche practice to be able to do that. I'm sorry. Can you tell me what the practice for? Okay, there's a lot of questions now, and I can't see it. Any Buddhist recommendation for protection while using an oracle? Oh, doing divinations is not really being an oracle. An oracle is where you channel that guru, that being. So if somebody has the ability to channel, I mean, yeah, you should be very careful. In fact, you shouldn't do it. It's sort of interesting, in our practice, especially with Guru Yoga, on our crown, we put a crossed Vajra to close the door of our crown. So when you feel that the guru goes inside, Geshe Rapton taught this. He says you should feel like the cross Vajra, like a seal, pops open. You feel the guru comes in and it pops shut. And then you feel that the thread can go through that, comes down to your heart. And then you have the Guru Sankapa, or wherever your guru is in your heart. But then that thread goes all the way up to Maitreya Buddha. Anyway, that's more in the Guru Yoga of Sankapa. So thank you very much. So I already said the lineage of this is Manjushri Arabhazanadi. Sure, a Hindu can practice this practice. Buddhism is not exclusive. I mean, if you're a good Hindu, hopefully you're have bodhicitta of some sort. So that's fine. I think that concludes it. We're at an hour and a half. Thank you very much. So here, let me switch over to the view of the gallery. Because there's 180 of you now, so I can't say hello, but there's hi Anthony Hills, and hello Alejandro. Hello, Thomas. Hello, David. Hello, Carolyn. Okay. Hello, Adriana. Hello, Institute Vajrayogini. Oh, Institute Vajrayogini. I was there for a 3-week retreat. Anyway, then Charlotte. Jonas. Hi, Jonas. Jonas is in Lithuania, I think, isn't it? Danielle. Ija, I can't pronounce. Kema. AF. Guzal. Saikat. Ami, David, Luis, Carlos, Rocky, Jonathan. Okay, anyway, Jake, Byron, Dennis, Bella. Hi, Bella from Spain. Love you lots. Okay, guys, so that's it. Big hugs. And I do recommend that the final teaching and transmission of these 6 or 7 wisdom things could be posted online. The initiation, no, I'm sorry, it needs to be live as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so thank you very much to you all. And Jonas, if you want to just do the final mandala offering. And of course, please, everybody, I'm sorry, I'm speaking really fast for my translator. Please dedicate that. I dedicate this, that may I have greater wisdom in my life. The wisdom that things always change. The wisdom that if something's happening, it has some karma. And I can create new karma. I have that ability. And that I am in an interdependent universe. And that everything is open and free of self-existence. And so on the basis of all of that, may I have these wisdoms and may I be of great benefit to all sentient beings.
Thank you so very much, dear Lama.
Thank you, Lama.
Sa shi pötru chokshek metok tram rura blinkshe nierde genpadi sanje shindu mekte powai trokonam dakshin la parasho. Om idam guru ratna mandala kamne yeta yame.
Okay, guys, so big hugs. Love you lots. Take very good care.
Thank you so much, Lama. Thank you all for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Good weekend.